How Vikings and Normans shaped English. Have you ever wondered why English is such a peculiar language? Why do we have different words for the same thing, like pig and pork, or cow and beef? The answer lies buried in centuries of invasions, battles, and conquests. Today, we're digging into the epic story of how two powerful forces, the Vikings and the Normans, clashed and ultimately blended to forge the English language we speak today. Our story begins in the 8th century. From across the North Sea, fierce Viking warriors set sail in their iconic longships, raiding and eventually settling vast swathes of England. This area, known as the Danelaw, became a melting pot of cultures and languages. The Vikings spoke Old Norse, a Germanic language similar to Old English, but distinct enough to leave a permanent mark. Words we use every single day, like sky, egg, leg, and even pronouns like they, them, and their, are direct gifts from the Vikings. They simplified English grammar, stripping away complex endings and making the language more direct. Think of it as a linguistic shortcut, born from two peoples needing to trade and communicate. Without the Vikings, our sentences would sound very different. But the linguistic invasions weren't over. Fast forward to 1066. William the Conqueror and his Norman army crossed the English Channel, defeating the English king at the Battle of Hastings. This wasn't just a military takeover, it was a cultural revolution. The new ruling class, the Normans, spoke Old French. For the next 300 years, French became the language of power, law, and high society. Suddenly, English was flooded with thousands of French words, all things related to government and law, like parliament, judge, and justice, came from the Normans. Words for fine dining and luxury, such as banquet, sauce, and mansion, also have French roots. This is why we have cow from the Anglo-Saxon farmer in the field, but beef from the French boeuf, for the meat served at the nobleman's table. This created a unique three-tiered language. The common folk spoke English, the clergy used Latin, and the aristocracy spoke French. But over time, these languages began to merge. English, the language of the majority, absorbed the sophisticated vocabulary of French and the practical and everyday words of Norse. This incredible fusion gave birth to Middle English, the language of Chaucer and the direct ancestor of the rich, complex, and sometimes confusing language we all share today. From the grit of the Viking warrior to the grandeur of the Norman knight, their linguistic legacy lives on in every word we speak. This was the birth of Middle English.